In this lesson, we're going to look at adding mixed numbers and fractions with regrouping with like and unlike denominators. In this type of example, which you have seen, we have 3 1/3 plus 4 1/3 equaling 7 2/3. There's no regrouping in that when we're adding these two fractions together, we do not get more than 1. We only get 2/3. And then so we don't have to simplify that any further by regrouping. Now if we had 5 2/3 plus 2 2/3, we would add those fractions together still, like we typically do, where we get 4/3, and 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7 4/3. Now I think that you would agree with me that 7 4/3 is just 7 put together with this 4/3, which is just 3/3 plus 1/3. 3/3 is 1 whole, so 7 and 1 more whole is 8 wholes, so we have that fraction and that mixed number there of 8 1/3. 7 4/3 is equal to 8 1/3, and I've now added this with regrouping and a like denominator. Here I have two mixed numbers. They do have like denominators. The denominator is 5 there, and so the denominator stays the same, and 3 plus 4 is 7. Now for our whole portion of this mixed number, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. Now we have to simplify that. I'm going to keep the 5 the same for now, and I'm going to think about 7/5. I think that you would agree with me that 5 7/5 could be rewritten as 5 plus 7/5. Then we could go ahead and write 5 plus 7/5. We put 7/5 into a mixed number. 7 divided by 5. That's 1 whole with 2/5 remaining. So 5 7/5 is equal to 6 2/5. Here's a problem for you to try. 3 3/4 plus 5 3/4. Please remember to simplify if you need to. Hit pause. I'll start with my fractional pieces. 3/4 plus 3/4 is equal to 6/4. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, so I have 8 6/4. I know that 6/4 is equal to 1 2/4. I think of 6 divided by 4. And then so I have 8 plus 1 2/4, which is equal to 9 2/4, which simplified equals 9 1/2. And then so I have my answer there. Here I have another problem, where the denominators are not the same. I have a denominator of 5, and I have a denominator of 3. What I need to do is I need to go ahead and make a common denominator. I'm going to choose 15 as my common denominator, and this is what I'll do there. So I will get 9/15 here as an equivalent fraction for 3/5. For the mixed number, I have 1 and 10/15. If I add those together, I've got 9/15 plus 10/15, which equals 19/15. And in my whole numbers, I have a 1 there still. 19/15 is equal to 15/15 plus 4/15. So I have 1 plus 15/15, which just equals 2 and 4/15. So I just had one more step, and that next step, and that extra step, was that I had to have that equivalent and the same denominator. 2 4/15 is fully simplified, so I'm done. I had to regroup here. 19/15, 15 goes into 19 one whole time, with that remainder of 4. Alright, one more example, 3 4/5 plus 2 1/3. And what I want to do again is I want to find that common denominator. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose 15 as my common denominator. Times 3 here, times 3 here, times 5 here, times 5 here, and I remember to keep my whole portions the same as well, as they were. 1 times 5 is 5, and 4/5 then is equal to how many 15ths? 12. If I add those together, I end up getting 17 15ths, and 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 and 17 15ths is equal to what? Can you see that? Did you say 6 and 2 15ths? If you did, give me a hooray! All right, your turn. Final problem, for you at least, and then we'll do a review. 3 and 3/7 plus 2 and 3/5. Go ahead and hit pause. We're going to go ahead and find that common denominator. One of the common denominators that we could have chosen is 35. Times 5 here then, and times 7 here. In the numerator, times 7 times 5. Whole portions stay the same. We're adding. Denominator is now 35. And what's that numerator for each of them then? This one is 15, and this one is 21. Adding those together, I get 36 35ths, and 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 and 36 35ths is equal to 6 and 1/35. All right, here's one last little review. 3 and 2/5 plus 7 and 5/8. What common denominator were you thinking of? Did you say 40? We could have chosen 40. If you chose something different, you might have had a few more steps than what I'm going to show you right here. So the first step when we're adding these numbers is to see whether or not they had common denominators, and if not, we needed to find that common denominator. The next step is to write equivalent fractions for these fractional parts of the mixed numbers. We had that common denominator of 40. And then so 2/5 is equal to how many 40ths? Right, 16. 5/8 is equal to how many 40ths? Right, 25. And we still have to write in our whole portions there, and remember we're adding here. We're going to look at our fractional parts first. 16 plus 25 is 41. 41 40ths. What do we do next? Right, add our 3 and the 7 to get 10. Is 10 and 41 40ths simplified? No, it's not. 41 40ths, what does it equal? 41 40ths, what does it equal? Oh, you're right, it does equal 1 and 1/40ths. If we put that together with 10, what do we get? 11 and 1/40th. And then so, that's how it is that we're going to go ahead and add. We come up with like denominators, and we simplify. And when we need to regroup, this is how it is that we go about it.